Investigative journalists from the Associated Press have uncovered an operation by the Fancy Bear hacking group in order to gather information about important figures within Orthodox Christianity. This includes personal aids to the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, the head of the Orthodox Church based in his ancient seat in Istanbul. Cybersecurity experts believe that Fancy Bear is directly linked to the GRU, or Russian military intelligence. It has been connected to some of the largest cyber attacks of the last few years. The reason for the attack is largely believed to be connected to the future elevation of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church to a position of independence and co-equality with Russian Orthodoxy.
We contacted the Ecumenical Orthodox Church and we presented our findings to them. They wouldn't speak to us on the record. They're now right in the middle of very sensitive negotiations over the future of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. So they wouldn't speak to us. But I did speak to a couple of church officials off the record, and they say that their number one suspect for this hacking is the Russian government.
If the Ecumenical Patriarch grants autocelibacy or self-governance to the Ukrainian Church, they'll strike a massive blow to Russian claims of cultural dominance over Ukraine and the Kremlin's grip over religious authorities in Ukraine. The Moscow Patriarchate in Ukraine is often looked at as operating in the interests of the Russian government, as opposed to the more independence-minded Kiev Patriarchate. Since our Russian church leaders are connected to the FSB and their epaulets stick out from under their habits, they deal with the same tasks that the Foreign Intelligence Service deals with, roughly speaking. They provide Vladimir Putin's policy with an ideological foundation. Ukrainians understand this perfectly well and consider this version of orthodoxy as a tool of influence by an enemy state. Cyril Hovaroun, a Ukrainian Orthodox theologian that was found to be one of the targets of the hacker group, goes on to point out that if the Ukrainian Church were to be granted autocelibacy, it would also undermine Russian claims to be the protector of orthodoxy in the eyes of foreign churches. It is a main pillar of Russian foreign policy in the Balkans, for example.
Nowadays, the main rationale, the main reason why hacking groups would say intrude to the accounts of Patriarch Bartholomew, his advisors, to the accounts of different church leaders in other churches, is primarily Ukraine, to be honest, because the Ukrainian church is on its way towards independence. This is a major political concern for Russia, and many other churches are involved in this situation, because at the later stage, the recognition of the Ukrainian church by other churches will be important.
Cyber warfare and control over orthodoxy have both been fundamental elements of Russia's hybrid war against Ukraine. In the delicate negotiations that are leading up to Ukrainian religious independence from Moscow, the slightest misstep can lead to diplomatic disaster. Russian hackers have taken steps in an attempt to undermine Ukraine's bid for ecclesiastic independence.